What's going on, folks? It's your boy John, coming back at you again with another video. It's been a while since I've done a video. Feeling a bit ill, and I know exactly why. It's because I've been neglecting meditation recently. You know, there was a time when I'd be doing 45 minutes to an hour a day of meditation, and it got too much. So I had to tailor it back, and I just started doing 15-minute sessions. But since I've been coming back home, because there's a lot of mental noise, the ego has found a way to clutch itself back into my life. And you know the ego is back when you don't want to meditate. You don't want to do it. It's like there's an itch and your mind does not want to meditate. But you don't want to meditate because you enjoy the mind's bullshit. So anyway, I find that when I become a bit ill, when I start getting a bit ill, I start getting symptoms of illness. It's a time to really just take a step back from planning, strategizing and thinking, and to just be present, to meditate, do really nonchalant things like reading, and even cutting back from working out, because there is something called overtraining, and if you overtrain in the long term, not only does it hurt your progress, but your health declines. But as I was walking through life, not even through the forest, I had a thought and I wanted to talk about it. So it was to do with introversion and why you should not be ashamed of being an introvert. Okay? Don't be ashamed of being an introvert. Because number one, shame is just a useless emotion anyway. It's a useless emotion and it does nothing. Yes, there's times where shame is useful. If you've genuinely done something wrong and you should feel bad about it, then you make the necessary arrangements to reconcile with that, to make that better. But in terms of your identity, and in terms of who you are, being ashamed of it is pointless. Okay, I'm an introvert. I've always been an introvert. And my definition of a introvert is someone who has a very rich inner life, prefers solitude, prefers quiet stuff, and prefers deep, meaningful and intellectual conversations and relationships with people. Prefers. That doesn't mean that extroverted people can't be intellectually stimulated or philosophically stimulated. It's just that we prefer that. And we prefer very deep relationships with people, not superficial. And of course, there's a very rich, deep inner life. A very rich, deep inner life. You know, we're very much aware of our emotions, our feelings, our thoughts. You know, we're sort of like natural mystics in that sense. And that makes us very good at empathizing with people. Especially the INFJ. If we're talking about MBTI typology, the INFJ is very good at empathizing with people because the INFJ is aware of emotions, aware of other people's feelings, as well as perhaps, if they do a little bit of introspection, their own. Now, there's a difference between being an introvert and being shy, okay? Because you could just be an extrovert who's shy, and you know, you're not an extrovert, you're not an introvert. If you're an extrovert but you're shy, you're just shy. You're a shy extrovert, which means you would prefer spending time with the company of other people, and you get recharged from them, and that is your preference, but you can't get out of your comfort zone. You can't bring yourself to explore the outside world, and therefore you are shy. You hesitate. You put other people first, perhaps other than yourself. You don't make the first step. You don't bring yourself out of your shell. Okay, that's a shy extrovert. And for many years I thought I was a shy extrovert. I thought that because I am reserved, because I am quiet, because I'd rather be observant and perceptive in a situation than be engaged in it, and that I can't seem to find my way into a conversation because I'm trying to force myself into it. I thought I was an extrovert, but I was just shy. Well, after building a bit of self-confidence, and after just really getting to know myself and witnessing and observing myself in natural circumstances, let's say in social situations, I realized that I am not an extrovert. Although I can come across as an extrovert because I have a very strong energy when I first meet people and when I'm engaging with people, I'm actually an introvert. Give it 20 minutes. Give it 20 minutes in a social interaction and you'll see me become an introvert very quickly, because I'll get drained and I will step back to a more observant role, and I will be more of a responder to people rather than a initiator. So at first I will be an initiator. I will be breaking into everyone's shells and I will be trying to get as much energy from them as possible. And once I've opened them up like little boxes, now they're willing to talk to me, and they're going to talk to me for the rest of the night. I don't need to do anything now. I just need to sit back, relax, and let whatever's going to happen. And most of the time it just does work out that way. Sometimes it doesn't. That's okay. It is what it is. But the thing is, introverts, we have some very special qualities which the extroverted world can't seem to figure out and understand. And we live in a very sensory-based world and a very extroverted world as well. So that is something to keep in mind. I mean, Hollywood and the media and everything, it's very much out there. So it can give you the false perception that you should be like that. So extroverts won't understand this, but this is why extroverts are attracted to introverts, because the introvert is mysterious. Again, we've got a very rich inner life. Very difficult to figure us out, very difficult to think what we're thinking. People make assumptions about us a lot. I realize this. People make assumptions about you and they make judgments very quickly because they think you're judging them. Okay, I used to think it's just because people are mean, they're just horrible, nasty. No, I realize that people are very self-centered and people care more about what you think about them, and they merely project that thought onto you. So if someone thinks that you are judging them and you are silent because you don't like them, they're going to be mean to you most of the time, because they think it's got something to do with them, just like we all do. We all think the universe revolves around us. If you're very, very dipped into your ego, you think the whole universe is responding to you, and to some degree it is, but it's not really revolving around you. It doesn't require you for it to be there. It just does revolve around you for the time that you're here. So because we're silent, because we don't give a lot of energy out, let's say, in the long term, people will take mystery and your silence as hostility, because we live in a very people-pleasing world. Okay, I don't know if you've noticed that. We live in a very people-pleasing mode where everyone's smiling and happy and always trying to make everybody else laugh. And don't get me wrong, I'm like that as well at times, but not all the time. There's a time where it's like a cut-off point. I'm like, okay, it's time for me to just enjoy now rather than do. I don't need to do, I just need to be. And many people will take that as a sudden sign of hostility and construe it as you being judgmental of them, like they've done something or said something that's caused you to be silent in their presence. They don't understand that that's just who you are. You're more of a perceptive individual who likes to observe, analyze even, but forget about analyzing. Let's just say you like to exist. Don't change that about yourself. In fact, you can't change that about yourself. That's how you are wired. You are wired to be more of a perceptive individual. You are wired, especially if you're an INFJ, you are wired to kind of be subconsciously linked into everybody else's subconscious, which is why when you do say something at the right time, everyone will look at you and listen to you. When I experienced this, I realized that, okay, this is just who I am. I'm not one of those loud, brashy people who's supposed to be in your face. I'm not a jock. Although when I get unhealthy, let's say I go into my reverse function, so let's say I become ESTP or something along those lines, I will become very jockey, very, aggressive, very frat boy, loud. I become quite witty in that state. I'm quite funny, but I'm also quite horrible and rude, because I completely reject all intuition. I reject all empathy. I go into thinking and sensory mode. So that's just, everyone else is just an object now. They're not humans anymore. But when I'm actually who I am, I'm very much a reserved, quiet, compassionate individual who loves to read people, loves to connect and empathize with people, and Usually it will take 100 people for me to meet, but with the 2 that I do meet, I will have the most deep connection with them that I could ever fathom, and usually I'll make a friend out of that. People are very intrigued by me, I've noticed that, and people who have an interest in me will want to go further. Okay, people who want to get to know me more will make the effort to get to know me more. People who don't. I don't need to do anything. All I do is show up, and I let the people choose. I let everyone choose if they want to hang out with me or get to know me or anything. There's a big delusion that you have to do things to get people to like you. You just have to offer something yourself, and people will follow you. All right. So anyway, this is just a little motivation video for those introverts out there, because, you know, extroverts won't understand your need to be in solitude. Like, for example, right now I'm a bit ill. I'm ill because I've neglected meditation for a while. I've only been doing 5-minute sessions, but also I've been very, very social recently, very social, and just meeting a lot of people, thinking a lot about people. A lot of other people's energies have come into mine, and I've let it merge with who I am. And there's a great discrepancy in my subconscious. This is what I'm analysing. I could be speaking out my ass completely, I don't know. But this is what I feel. I really do feel this at the intuitive level. That by letting other people's energies coincide with mine, it's definitely caused a great unrest in my subconscious. So I have gone back to a little bit of I've taken a step back from everything. I can feel my body's more present, not because I want to be present, but because it's forcing itself to be present, to heal, to get better. And usually the meditation sessions did this, but of course when I'm not meditating, the body will find a way to do it itself, and it usually does that by making me sick. So anyway, if you're an introvert, don't cry, don't be upset. It's actually one of the best gifts that you have. Own it. Be happy with it. You are just one of those people. You are a quiet, reserved, mysterious person. And don't let other people judge you. And if they do, let them judge you, but don't take it to heart. Because people's judgments are just reflections of themselves. If it's not a genuine criticism of you, then it's just a reflection of who they are. So take it as a sign of them telling you who they are, and move forward with that. Alright? But anyway, that's going to be it for me. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.